morning, folks. Miami Beach Audits here. This happened to me this morning. I'm uploading it more to show you the advantages that I was speaking about of having a camera which can be manually set up to avoid light shining at you or whatever by adjusting f-stops and ISO levels. I was complaining on the live stream about the fact that the camera in the live streaming app doesn't allow you to change any settings, and it's on autofocus and it depends on an algorithm. Now, if this had been on a live stream and had been shot with their camera, the entire video would have been white. So you'll see somewhere between 2 and 2.5 minutes into it, after I got all the camera control set and locked into position, I was able to shoot directly into the sun and get this officer's face clearly with no or very little color distortion. I was sitting here eating breakfast at about 10 o'clock this morning, today being Saturday, July 17th, 2021, when two MBPD cruisers pulled up. One of them had a captain inside, the other one had an officer. And the officer got out and he started talking to me, he started giving me directives. All right, I'll show you this sprinkler head that I was sitting on that sticks out of the wall of an abandoned store that used to be a 7-Eleven, right next to the Fernandez Bodega over there. Okay, this is the fire plug I was sitting on. And you see this hose spigot next to it. You notice it has no water to it. It's logical that the water has also been turned off to this. That's why when there was a fire in the building, the fire department hooked up to a fire hydrant. It's over there next to the school. And they ran their hose over the fence of the school and across Washington Avenue to the door over here. The officer came up and started giving me directives. You can't sit there, you can't lean on the wall. Now I kind of straightened him out on that, asking him what law was I breaking, and he couldn't tell me. Anyway, he left and I was still sitting here, and I think the captain briefed him on how to handle this because of all the complaints that they've been getting. They approached somebody who wasn't breaking the law and was on a public sidewalk minding his own business in order to give him directives which had no lawful backing. I didn't follow any of them, and he left without arresting me, without IDing me. Although I was so concerned with getting the camera set up properly, I forgot to ask his name and badge number. When I finally rendered the video, it was not legible in the video on his chest because he was deliberately standing with the sun directly over his shoulder for the entire time. And when I moved to try and get the sun further to the side, he moved. And every time I moved, he was deliberately moving to keep the sun in a position something like where my cigarette is now in relation to his head in my camera shot. I have to believe that all the complaints that they've received have caused a change in the way that they're approaching me, even though they're still chasing everybody else off the sidewalk with the bully tactics like you've seen in previous of my videos. But I think from now on, I'm going to get them harassing me politely. And this guy, as polite as he was trying to be, he still couldn't avoid dropping an F-bomb and barking directives at me when he first got here. Proves the tyrannical attitude. Well, this was the first video that I shot, processed, and uploaded with my new phone. You see how much better quality the pictures are than what you had been getting in the last few videos. I'd like to thank everybody who helped me with the financing to get the new phone and contributed to the PayPal. That would be Robert Castro, Sprinks, Impact Auditor, 7 Freedom Audits, and Leslie Silvine. And if there's anybody else who I forgot about, besides my friend Greg, who loaned me the last $30, but he's not a sub, he works in a local hotel. I'm sorry I forgot to mention you, but I still appreciate your contribution just as much. Here's the video, enjoy it, and I'll see you on the back end. I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing alright. Listen, man, I can't have you leaning up against the building. It's private property, alright? Alright? You already said you don't need fire rescue.
Right.
Just trying to make sure that you're okay. You need shelter or anything like that?
No.
Alright. Be greatly appreciated you didn't lean up against the building, all right? It's private property.
Okay.
I've got a problem with you being on the sidewalk or anything like that. But just, you could, man, do me a favor and not lean up against the building or stuff like that, all right?
Okay.
You need shelter?
No.
Because I've seen you out here a couple of times. I'm not making any assumptions, but from what I can tell, it seems like you don't have a place to stay.
Yeah.
Do you want a place to stay?
Not in a shelter, no.
Not in a shelter? Is there any particular reason as to why you don't want to be in a shelter?
Yeah.
You just don't like the system? You don't like being in a shelter? I'm just trying to give you help, man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I didn't ask for any help.
I know, but I saw you over here. I asked if you needed fire rescue because you're just chilling out.
I know where 555 is, and if I need any help, any homeless services, I'll go over there on my own.
Okay. Are you homeless? Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're planning on staying homeless?
No, I'm trying to work my way off the street.
Okay.
You know,
I got you. Hey man, I'm recording too, just so you know.
Yeah.
We're both recording.
Okay.
Just so you don't have to hold up your phone if you don't feel like it. But I just want to make sure you're taken care of, man. Miami Beach cares about its homeless people. I know that sometimes it doesn't come off that way. But we're just trying to make sure that you're taken care of and that you're not interfering with any business. All right, sir?
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, we could just have you not lean up against the building. You can stand on the sidewalk all day long. You can sit on the sidewalk. As long as you're not blocking any businesses, you're more than welcome to the public area, okay?
Okay.
Do you mind if I get your name, sir? You're not in any trouble. You're not under arrest or anything like that.
Yeah, then I don't have to identify myself.
You're absolutely right. You do
Okay.
not. I was just wondering if you minded if I got your name so that I can tell my boss that I spoke to you because I've seen you several times on the street and I just want to let him know that we've made contact with you and tried to give you our services.
Yeah, you make contact with me about every 6 hours to try to give me your services, and I always refuse, and, you know.
Well, I don't know you personally. I just know that,
Yeah.
we've made contact with you before.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're all right? You don't want to give me your name or anything like that?
Go.
All right. So if you stand here, I don't mind if you stand here, but let's say somebody needs to get to that piece of equipment.
Well, they
property,
actually had a fire in this building about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And when it was the 7-Eleven, and the fire department didn't even use that because they don't have any hoses that are that small of a hookup anymore.
Okay.
So they went to the city fire plug across the street and ran the hose across Washington Avenue. So I'm sure nobody.
Fire department does, but I am not, and I'm tasked out by the city to make sure that you don't interfere with that, even if they do have an adapter or something that could actually have them hook up to it. You don't know whether or not something's changed within their policy or what they do with those outlets. What I'm saying is that the city doesn't want you on the outlet because it could interfere with a fire. Businesses don't want people leaning up against the businesses. All right? It's just, look, I'm just doing my job, man. I'm not trying to give you too much grief.
Yeah.
I can see you're a decent guy. I'm not trying to give you any trouble. Just trying to make sure that you have options for help if you want it.
It just seems funny to me that there's people leaning up against this wall 24/7, and why your department only comes over and harasses me.
No, we don't only harass you. I've had to speak to at least a few people at Washington Avenue alone for leaning up against businesses and having to have them just at least move along. I'm not saying that they can't fucking be in the middle of the sidewalk. As long as they're not blocking people, you're fine to do that. Excuse my French. Okay? You have to understand that it's just what we're asked to do. Okay? As long as you're not breaking any laws, you're more than welcome to the public sidewalk. But you can't lean up against the businesses, and you can't block entrances, and you can't block anything that fire may use.
So, am I breaking the law by sitting on that fire plug?
Like I I said, you're not in trouble. Okay? I'm just simply requesting that you don't sit on that.
Okay, well,
Is that fair as a human to human contact, so that we could just be out of each other's hair? Because I can tell that you don't want to talk to me and you don't want any of my help. I'm just simply requesting that you don't do that. Human to human, not even talking about the job. All right? Is that fair?
well, I got up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have
You
a
know,
problem.
but you gave it to me as a directive, like you can't. And your job is supposed to be law enforcement. I'm wondering what law is it against for me to be sitting there?
Right, but as law enforcement, I'm tasked to do many things, especially in Miami Beach. Okay? So, they ask me to do my job, and I do it. All right? That means that I have to request that you don't lean up against buildings or sit on any possible fire department usage utilities. Okay? That's it. Is there anything else that I can do for you this morning, sir?
I don't think so.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. 27. Let's see this one. 20027 went on by. That was a captain. This is 14033. Well, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. I thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Leave a comment in the comment section to help the algorithm. This is Miami Beach Audits. I'm out.